Mhm.
Okay. Eric Davis.
I'm here.
Tyler Denham.
Present.
Karen Flores. Sandy Flores is going to be absent. Jackie Kellogg. Right, Devonna McLaughlin. Here. Moses Milazzo. Just walked in. No Moses. Adra Parasinic. Rebecca Pyers. Tell me if I said that wrong, by the way, Rebecca.
Cheers. And I'm present.
Okay, thank you. Ross Schaefer.
I'm here.
Glenn Slivers.
I'm here.
Did I say your last name right, Glenn?
Yes.
Okay. Sean Slauson. Correct me if I'm wrong, Sean.
You nailed it. I'm here.
Okay. Haley Zaroya.
I'm here.
Okay. Did I get your last name right?
You sure did.
Okay, great. And then just to go back, I think I saw Karen Flores.
Yep, I'm here.
Okay. And then I'm just gonna do a quick check again. Jackie.
Yep, I'm here.
Okay. Moses Milazzo. And Adra's not here yet. Okay, we're good to go.
That's
Mute
better.
button strikes again. Thank you for that, Adriana. And thank you everyone for being here today. A few housekeeping reminders to start. This meeting is being recorded, as Adriana noted earlier. Please avoid using the chat box for general chatter. Instead, enter a C or a Q if you have a comment or question during the meeting. Also, please keep yourselves muted if you're not speaking, just to avoid audio issues. And finally, if you need to leave the meeting early, please just let me know so I can note the time for the meeting minutes. And with that out of the way, we'll move directly into agenda item 3 and open the meeting up to public comment. Adriana, is anyone queued up for public comment or did receive any public comment by email?
No, we did not.
Okay, in that case, I'll skip the usual spiel about how to do public comment. And we'll go to agenda item 4, which is a land acknowledgement, which I will now read. The Housing Commission humbly acknowledges the ancestral homelands of this area's indigenous nations and original stewards. These lands, still inhabited by native descendants, border mountains sacred to indigenous peoples. We honor them, their legacies, their traditions, and their continued contributions. We celebrate their past, present, and future generations who will forever know this place as home. All right. Agenda item 5A, which is for the consideration of approval of minutes for the commission meeting on June 25th. I will entertain a motion if someone has one.
This is Ross. I'll make a motion.
All right. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Second from Jackie. So that was moved by Ross and seconded by Jackie. Is there any discussion on the minutes? If no discussion, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, that motion carries and the minutes are approved. Next, we'll move on to general business with agenda item 6A, which is a warm welcome to all the new and returning housing commissioners. So the Housing Commission was having a difficult time meeting quorum until now, and we wouldn't be able to fulfill its purpose without you. So I know it's a busy world out there. I really appreciate you putting in the time and the effort to serve your community. And Adriana, I think a round of introductions for both the commissioners and probably the city staff as well would be wise. Do you have any specific format you want to use for introductions?
No, and I know you're trying to steal my thunder, Chair Denham, but I'd like to give a spiel real quick. Is that okay to do it now?
Yes.
All right, so good afternoon, commissioners. I'm so happy to see so many faces on video. Just know that you can be on video or not, totally up to you. This applies to every meeting. These meetings are being recorded, as Mr. Chair Denham said. I'm Adriana Fisher. I'm the housing program manager as of recently, and I will also be your commission liaison. You probably know that because I have been sending a lot of emails lately. My apologies in advance. It's probably not going to stop in the future. We like to be thorough. I also do want to take a minute to thank and welcome our brand new commissioners, Haley, Glenn, Rebecca, and Sean. And those of you who reapplied to be on the commission, Jackie and Ross, talking to you. So diversity is what makes a public body like ours unique and effective. We're the people who fight for safe, decent, and affordable housing for those who can't fight for it themselves. We stand up for what is right, even if it's a difficult path to take. We value each and every one of you and your opinions, your expertise, your drive, your passion, to make our community better for everyone. I'm so excited to be here today. And as Chair Denham said earlier, we finally have a full commission. And I wasn't joking when I said in our email that you literally complete us. And that's because we haven't had a full quorum for kind of a while. So I'm super excited to hit the ground running and get this 10-year housing plan implemented and address other impactful topics in our community. So with that, and as a way to get to know each other and our points of view better, I'd like to encourage every commissioner, not just our new ones, to please introduce yourselves. We have 1 or 2 minutes. In 1 or 2 minutes, let me know why you chose to be a commissioner, even if you've been doing it for 500 years, where you work and what body you represent, and what your favorite food is, because that is important. Anybody want to kick it off, or should I go by roll call order? Let me start with that. Eric, did you want to kick us off here?
Sure. My name is Eric Davis. I am an agent over at Best Flagstaff Homes Realty. I was one of the original Housing Commission members, and I'm a lifelong resident here in Flagstaff. I think I joined just to try and help out with some of the housing-related issues that the city is facing, and also everybody that lives here. And favorite food is smoked barbecue.
I'll go. This is Ross. I am Ross Schaefer, and I am the executive director with Flagstaff Shelter Services. I'm also a co-chair with the local coalition to end homelessness, which is the COC kind of governing body locally for services. And so I'm happy to be here. I've had the great opportunity on being to be on the commission since it kind of got started, and I'm glad to be here joining you all again today. So thanks. Oh, and favorite food, I'm eating raw carrots when I'm on mute, so with hummus, so hopefully that answers your question. Thank you.
You must have really good eyesight. I'll go next. My name is Tyler Denham. I work as an engineer for W.O. Gore and Associates. I am representing just myself, I suppose. as a community member. I first got interested in housing issues a few years ago when a couple of quite a few people in my peer group, including my brother, ended up leaving Flagstaff due to housing related issues. And it just got me thinking about it, and I got involved in the community, and somehow that spiraled into me being the housing commission chair. My favorite food, I like a lot of different food. I feel like I'll just name one my favorite from this past month. I recently tried the ramen at Karma, and yeah, I got someone suggested it to me, and it was really amazing. Just aesthetically, the ramen when it comes out in the bowl steaming looks beautiful, and then it's also delicious. So yeah, that's what I'm going to recommend, the ramen at Karma.
This is kind of what I wanted to hear, like all the juicy details, the colors, the smell. I'm totally kidding you guys. You don't have to go that far. Anybody want to go next?
My carrots are orange.
I'll introduce myself. I am Rebecca Pierce. I am the Director of Development and Construction at Northern Arizona Healthcare. I have been actually working over the last 3 years on inequity in healthcare, expanding to healthcare deserts, which converts into my work here at NAH and directly into the Housing Commission as we look at inequities in housing. It directly impacts healthcare here in Flagstaff. I've been here for a year. Being able to retain and to get staff to come here is very difficult because the housing is very expensive. And so we're very invested. I'm very invested in helping to solve the housing solution here. My favorite food is Italian. I just wish that Flagstaff would open a really, really good Italian restaurant.
I can go. I'm Karen Flores, and I work for Cross Country Mortgage here in Flagstaff. I've been in the lending industry as a loan officer for almost 30 years now. And obviously, I see firsthand the challenges of folks getting into homes on a daily basis. So that's why I joined the commission. I've been on the commission since its inception and have really enjoyed being a participant. And my favorite food is sushi.
I can
I'm
go,
happy to go next.
Go ahead, Haley.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
Great. I'm Haley. I work for CC Acquisition Company. We're a retail, multifamily, mixed-use developer and redeveloper of shopping centers. We actually own 2 centers in Flagstaff. We own Park Santa Fe, which has the Harbor Freight and CVS over by the Museum Club, and then the Bashas Shopping Center by Walmart. Definitely, we've experienced a lot of the same issues that you all are expressing as far as, retaining tenants due to staffing and housing. We definitely also, to harken back to the 10-year plan, struggle with the homeless population at Park Santa Fe, and we've had some really kind of awful things happen there. I just definitely wanted to work to solve those with my expertise and just get more involved in the Flagstaff community. And I'm kind of with Tyler. I really like a lot of different foods. I guess. And while you were describing the ramen, my husband's here. He heard it. He was like, "Yeah, that's good." But I don't know. I guess I'm kind of into sea bass this month because Whole Foods actually had some not too long ago. So, anyways, it's nice to meet you all and look forward to working with you guys.
Right.
I'll go next.
Oh.
Go ahead.
All right. I'm Sean Slauson, Vice President Operations for McCarthy Building Companies, a commercial general contractor. Moved to Flagstaff late last year and experienced, some of the same things you all are talking about with just the housing challenges, and just passionate around helping the community, working to get a lot of our other team members to come to Flagstaff as well. So wanting to make sure there's places available. So Really excited to be on the team and looking forward to it. A little on the opposite side, I'm pretty simple on the food side, so I'm just steak and potatoes, and over again, I'll do it.
Okay, now I can go. I'm Jackie Kellogg. I'm the owner and designated broker of West USA Realty. I've always been very active in the community. One of my fun stories is I used to be homeless in Flagstaff. So my tagline is I went from being homeless to putting people in homes. Previously a board member at the Greater Flagstaff Chamber of Commerce and past president of the Realtor Association, and sit on many committees, including an advocacy committee with the realtors currently. And I like sushi, and I actually caught my own sushi in Honolulu.
I believe the only other person left is Devana. There you are.
Hi, I was just popping up. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Devana McLaughlin. I have the honor of working at Housing Solutions of Northern Arizona. We're a local nonprofit housing provider, and I have been on the commission since its inception and appreciate the work that the commission does and the focus on housing that the city and city council have in the last several years. My favorite food is Mongolian beef from PF Chang's. So if anyone's headed north from Phoenix, there's a Happy Valley location. Just let me know. It travels very well. So that's kind of how I treat myself if we're ever headed to or from back to Phoenix. So appreciate y'all. Looking forward to the meetings, and I will turn it over back to you, Adriana.
And since you guys had to do it, then I guess it's only fair to pick on staff next. Starting with our council liaison, council member Care House. She likes cats. She has cats.
She does. She has 2 cats and a dog. Hi, everybody. I'm Councilmember Kara House, and I am proud to be your council liaison. I also previously served on the Housing Commission from its inception, originally as its vice chair and then as its chair before turning it over to Chair Denham. And I also work in multifamily housing outside of my service in or to council, and am a strong advocate, lifelong advocate for affordable housing and combating homelessness. So I'm just very proud to be your liaison and work along with you, especially now that you are full again. That's very, very exciting to me. As far as favorite food, my favorite food is baked macaroni and cheese, and I am also lactose sensitive. So that is a very fun meal to have because I don't care. I will eat it all day, every day, no matter the cost.
Fantastic. Thank you for that. I know not a lot of people would pick on their division director, but I'm just going to do it. Mr. Dan Folk, do you have a minute for us?
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. You're putting me on the spot, Adriana?
Yes. Great way to get this started, right?
Yeah, it's wonderful to meet all the new housing commissioners. Thank you all for your service. We really appreciate it. My name is Dan Folk. I'm the Community Development Director. So we've got the housing section, planning and development services, building safety and code compliance, and real estate. We've got about 61 people in community development. We're very excited to be working on the implementation of the 10-year plan. We're going to be reviewing our zoning code this year for ways that we can, help promote more housing and more affordable housing. We're working on our incentives. So there's a lot of work going on housing, and all of you are really an important part of that work. And then what am I supposed to share? What are my favorite foods?
In detail, color, smell, everything.
Let's see, additional background as I stall on that. I've been with the city about 9 years. And so it's really exciting to see the support, the current support for housing and housing projects and all that. So I do enjoy grilling. I just, over the weekend, I grilled some Italian sausages. So I love watching the Green Bay Packers while I'm eating a bratwurst or Italian sausage.
And sorry for the lack of notice. Justina.
Hi, everyone. Justina Costa. I'm the Assistant Housing Director here for the Housing section. I've been with the city 17 years, and I'm one of 2 Assistant Housing Directors. Our Housing Director, Sarah Dar, couldn't join us today, but I know she sends her hello, and I know she is very excited to meet you all. I could live off of sushi, Mexican, and pizza. So I'd be pretty happy with just those. Thank you. Nice to meet you all.
Are you sure you're not an NAU student?
Oh my gosh. So a friend of mine's kid just started at NAU, and I'm completely living vicariously through her eating habits right now. Yeah.
I love it. Christine, sounds like you're ready to go.
I am ready to go. Hi, everyone. My name is Christine Pavlik, and I'm the Housing and Grants Administrator for the Housing section here at the city. I am responsible for the administration of some of our federal and locally funded grant programs, the Community Development Block Grant Program, now some of our American Rescue Plan Act funds, and general funds that the City Council allocates to housing programs. And so in addition to that, I am also the Fair Housing Administrator. As far as my favorite food, I don't know how many people are going to get this. If you're either on TikTok or you have kids on TikTok. For me, I really like corn.
Oh my God. Oh my gosh, I was not on mute the whole time. Great. Jen is going to go next.
Hi, everybody. My name is Jennifer Michelson. That I'm like laughing, Christine. I'm like, elote? I don't know. Like, you can dress it up. I get it. I get it. I'm sorry. I'm Jennifer. I'm the housing analyst with the city. I get to work with pretty closely with the planners, other community development staff on bringing more affordable housing units to the city through new development. So I do work with a lot of new development projects and also kind of overseeing the affordable homeownership program. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. Happy to meet everybody, all the new commissioners. Thank you for your time.
Are you forgetting something?
Oh, sorry. Love kale, like raw kale. I'm just kidding. Like ice cream, like, come on, ice cream. Has anybody said that yet? You can't lose.
What
You
flavor
can't
of
lose.
ice cream though?
Oh man. I'm such like a Culver's addict right now, and I go and get the chocolate concrete with strawberries in it. That's like my flavor right now. So there you go.
Fantastic. And I'm again Adriana Fisher. I'll be your commission liaison. I'm pretty sure I've given you all a background of what I do, but what I used to do that I'm still kind of doing with this new position is housing specialist. You'll soon get to meet our new housing specialist, but she will be managing our loan portfolio and working directly with Christine to administer CDBG grants. And then, of course, I will be working with the 10-year housing plan. I'll be working with you directly. And I'm super excited. This is what I really wanted to address, the food thing, right? I'm pretty moody with my food. I feel like burritos is always a good go-to food. That's pretty much all I've got. Anybody have any questions? Any food related questions? Just kidding. We can move on here.
I gotta say, I really should have eaten lunch before this. All these mentions of these different types of foods is making me a little bit hungry now. But regardless, so nice to meet everyone. Really look forward to working with all of you in the future. And with that, we'll go ahead and move on to the discussion items with agenda item 7A, an overview of the Bond 2022 outreach efforts. And I believe, Justinia, you have a interesting presentation for us. And if that is the case, you can go ahead and take the ball.
Thank you, Chair. Hi, everyone. Justina Costa again. I don't actually have a formal presentation for you today, and that is twofold. I wanted to keep this conversation very casual and informative for you all. I know that at least half of the, or I should say all of the existing commissioners, the previous commissioners, have been participating in the creation of the bond measures. And so this is mostly information for you newbies that I'm hoping to kind of download you on today. And so I wanted to keep it casual. As Adriana is kind of trying to set the tone, we really want this commission to be we want you to feel like you can speak at any point in time. Raise your hand, use that function. Anytime you have a question, we want this to be a conversation. We know it's a little awkward virtually rather than in person sometimes, but we in housing are a pretty casual group. We pride ourselves in that. And so that I feel like provides the opportunity for great conversation and building friendships, things like that. And so we kind of want that to translate into this commission. So to start the bond outreach information for you all, a second reason that I don't have an actual presentation is that there are two bond propositions. One is for housing and the other one is for infrastructure. And usually what happens and what we've been told is that we can't present on one without the other. And so what I'll do today is show you all the bond website, guide you through that, and show you the videos that will discuss kind of both measures. And I'll be happy to answer any housing related questions. And if I can't, then we'll get them answered for you at a later date. So let me just dive right in. I'm going to turn my camera off because I don't need you guys watching me kind of navigate the internet. But let me share my screen and we'll go from there. And like I said, Adriana, if there's any questions while I'm sharing, go ahead and just let me know and I'll pause. So. One second. One more try, please hold. All right, can everyone see that? Yes? No?
Yes.
Leave my video on
Yes.
so that I can be like,
Awesome. Okay, so this is the main page for the Flagstaff Bonds 2022. As you can see, there's the logo on top in the upper left-hand corner. That is the bond logo. It's inclusive of both propositions. The actual page, I'm not going to get into detail here, but I'll kind of scroll so you can see. So it's very inclusive of both, and that was very important to us so that voters could see that the city doesn't value one higher than the other. They're both equally important. On the two little boxes that you see there in white, there's Proposition 441, which encompasses wildfire, flood, and water infrastructure. And then again, Proposition 442, which is our housing bond, which is for rental and homeownership opportunities. When you kind of go through on this page, you'll get a little bit of information. Down here is a download link for a rack card. These are fantastic. They're just basically like a flyer size, and they enable you to pass those out if you would like. I should say that as city staff, we are not allowed to advocate we're only allowed to educate. And actually, we can be held personally responsible and liable if we are advocating, whether it's during work time or outside of work time. And so we're only allowed to educate. You as a commission member are, again, also only allowed to educate. However, you as an individual are allowed to do whatever you want. So that's important to note. We have to be careful how we speak. We've been told in the past that, you know, when you're educating about bond topics, you have to limit your passion because that could be seen as advocating. So we're very careful. So sometimes if we answer a question in like a very dry, factual tone, that's not because we're bored, but that's just because we're trying to be very, very careful. So here's the important dates that are good for the public to know. And then downloadable files are here in orange. So what I'll do now is I'm going to hop right into the very top here. You have the different informational tabs. So the general obligation bond tab has a wonderful video that I'm going to play for you all. And please, I believe you're going to be able to hear it. Adriana, let me know if it doesn't play. But this video tells you about what GO bonds are. So we're going to start with this one.
This November, Flagstaff voters will see 2 City of Flagstaff propositions or bond questions on the ballot. Prop 441, which would provide funding for city infrastructure improvements, and Prop 442, which would provide funding to create rental and home ownership opportunities for Flagstaff residents. Before learning about these propositions, you may be wondering, what is a general obligation bond and how do they work to fund projects? Cities build and maintain all types of facilities and infrastructure using taxpayer dollars. Similar to a home mortgage, selling bonds allows cities to build a facility or public infrastructure project now and then pay it off over time. The City of Flagstaff has used general obligation bonds, or GO bonds, in the past to fund projects like the Aquaplex, the Public Works Facility, the new city courthouse, fire stations and equipment, and the purchase of Observatory Mesa for open space. Certain types of bonds, including GO bonds, require approval from voters. By approving a GO bond, citizens agree to pay back the bond over time through secondary property taxes. The City of Flagstaff has a limit on the value of bonds it can issue, and the city is currently paying down existing bonds, which then provides capacity for new debt. Over the past 3 fiscal years, the city has paid down $15 million in bond debt, with another $6 million set to be paid off this fiscal year. For example, the city has recently paid off its previous bonds for fire infrastructure and for the Aquaplex, creating more space for new bonds. By adding new GO bonds as old GO bonds are paid off, new projects can be funded within existing secondary property tax rates. That means if voters approve Propositions 441 and 442, it is anticipated that these new bonds could be paid off with the current secondary property tax rate. To learn more about how GO bond funding would be used to improve city infrastructure and create housing opportunities for Flagstaff residents, visit flagstaffbonds2022.com. Again, that's flagstaffbonds2022.com.
Awesome. So that was that one. Next, I'll play the Proposition 441 video for you all.
In November, Flagstaff residents will vote on an infrastructure bond, Proposition 441. If approved, Prop 441 will dedicate $57 million to improving and updating critical infrastructure within our community. The money will support 3 types of infrastructure in Flagstaff: stormwater, wastewater, and public safety. First, let's talk about the stormwater infrastructure. The 2019 museum fire created a heightened risk of post-wildfire flooding in the Paradise, Grandview, and Sunnyside neighborhoods that will remain for many years. The flooding in these neighborhoods is life-threatening and causes significant damage to homes and public infrastructure. While the city has installed several projects that lessen the damage, this is only a small portion of the work that needs to be done. The threat is very real, and impacts to neighborhoods are immense. Additional large-scale projects still need to be funded and completed to better equip our community to withstand post-wildfire flooding in the Spruce Wash. Private engineering professionals have worked tirelessly to assist our community with plans for good, common sense projects that will make a meaningful difference for residents. Prop 441 will pay for increased capacity stormwater infrastructure, such as large storm drains, improved roadway crossings, and water detention facilities, collectively designed to help lessen the impacts of future flooding in these neighborhoods. Another area that will be supported by Prop 441 is wastewater infrastructure. The city's Rio de Flag and Wildcat Hill wastewater treatment plants need new equipment to continue to meet demand and maintain the quality expected by our community. These two wastewater plants treat over 1.97 billion gallons of water each year. That's over 5 million gallons each day. Treated water is released safely into the Rio de Flag drainages or used as reclaimed water to irrigate parks, schools, or perform other functions. Funding from Prop 441 will pay for backup generators, more efficient blowers and pumps, new digesters to process solid waste, and cogeneration equipment to efficiently generate energy to be used at the plants. The third area supported by Prop 441 is public safety infrastructure. Flagstaff's fire department works 24 hours a day to protect our community by responding to wildfires and structural fires, medical emergencies, car accidents, hazardous material situations, and technical rescues. Some of the city's fire units, such as fire engines and water tankers, are more than 20 years old. That means that these units are older than the recommended replacement age and require significant downtime for repairs and have safety features that need to be updated. Prop 441 will provide funding to purchase 4 new firefighting units, including 2 fire engines and 2 water tankers, to give our firefighters the equipment they need to safely respond to all hazards in our community. If approved by voters during the November 2022 election, Prop 441 will fund new stormwater, wastewater, and public safety infrastructure for Flagstaff residents. Visit flagstaffbonds2022.com for more information on the propositions that you'll see on the ballot in November.
Okay, and then last but not least, the one you've all been waiting for so eagerly, I'm sure, is the Prop 442, which is the homeownership opportunities, the rental and homeownership opportunities proposition, and that is for $20 million. So here it goes.
In November, Flagstaff residents will vote on a housing bond, Proposition 442. If approved, Prop 442 will dedicate $20 million to create rental and home ownership opportunities for residents of Flagstaff. Housing is an essential element of community infrastructure and contributes to the overall health of a community. Not having sufficient access to housing that is affordable is linked to negative effects on our neighborhoods, health, children, environment, and jobs. In recent years, the median sales price of a home in Flagstaff rose by 166%, while area median income rose only by 37%. Housing affordability is defined as a household paying no more than 30% of their gross income for housing costs. Many Flagstaff residents pay much more than that for housing each month, creating a housing cost burden. In fact, 45% of all households in Flagstaff are housing cost burdened. These households often have trouble affording other necessities, such as food, childcare, transportation, and healthcare, and are unable to save towards home ownership. Because of this situation, a number of people and organizations in the Flagstaff community have worked together to create Prop 442, a broad group of community members representing renters, homeowners, housing professionals, experts in the field, and the community at large participated in the process that resulted in the City Council placing Prop 442 on the ballot. These community members are a part of Housing Commission, the Citizen Bond Committee, and the multiple community working groups that engaged in the creation of the newly adopted 10-year housing plan. So, what specifically will Prop 442 do if it is approved by Flagstaff voters? Funding will be exclusively used to expand housing opportunities, both rental and homeownership, for a variety of Flagstaff residents, including seniors, teachers, healthcare workers, and others working and living in Flagstaff. Funding from Prop 442 will support 4 types of housing creation and assistance in Flagstaff. Funding from Prop 442 will be used for redeveloping city-owned housing to create additional affordable rental units, repurposing existing available buildings or spaces into rental units, and incentivizing the private sector to incorporate affordable rental housing in new developments, and expanding the city's home buyer down payment assistance loan program. While the City Council is ultimately responsible for the expenditure of bond funds, the Housing Commission, created in 2019, serves as an advisory board to the City Council and is tasked with providing oversight of any funds approved by voters for housing purposes. Want to learn more about Prop 442? Visit flagstaffbonds2022.com for additional information. Again, that's flagstaffbonds2022.com.
All right. So those are the videos that I wanted to share. Now I would like to open it up if anyone has any questions specifically about Proposition 442, or if there's, anything that, you want to know. No questions. We've done a good job. Ready? Time to go home.
I do have a question.
Tyler.
So if a commissioner wanted to take a public position for or against the bonds, do you have any suggested language to ensure that they clearly separate their personal position, their personal advocacy from the Housing Commission?
I do not at this point in time, but we will happily get you all that. So we can send you all an email with that language. We'll have to get that from our city clerk just to make sure it's perfect and approved by legal. So, it won't take that long, but we'll definitely get you that. That's a great question.
Yeah, and I think especially for people who are newer to being on the Housing Commission and also doing advocacy work in their personal time, it may be good just to have some suggested language that they can adapt for themselves.
Absolutely. You got it. Anybody else? You guys are easy today. That makes me happy.
I know for myself, I'd already went through the website. It's very well laid out.
Yeah.
I can tell the city staff put a lot of work into it.
Thanks. There's been a ton of work, and that goes as far as, people in housing, people involved in the other proposition, as far as city clerk's office, city manager's office, our PR team, our consultant that's helping. So there's been a lot of fingerprints all over this. There will be some public sessions, some open houses that we're going to be conducting. So we will also let you all know when those take place, where and what time, once they're scheduled. We have not yet scheduled those, but they are in the process of being scheduled. And the way that we're handling additional outreach is with the last bond measure, we presented to like 70 plus groups, and we did in-person presentations. It took a lot of staff time, and it was very, very time consuming. So this time around, our approach is slightly different. We have all of these great marketing materials, these videos. There's a PowerPoint that's going to be available soon, if not already, on the city's website that kind of talks through this exact process. It gets into a little bit more detail about the propositions. It's really great. And so organizations have the ability to really, organizations and individuals, I should say, have the ability to kind of educate themselves. However, the city is open to doing in-person presentations upon request. And so if you're part of an organization that would want us to come and do a presentation in person where you can ask questions, we're definitely willing to do so. Or if you'd like to do it virtually and email us questions, we're happy to do that as well. You'll see on the website also there's an FAQ document that we're going to keep up to date and constantly add to. And so whenever there's more questions that pop up that we feel others may have, we're just going to start dumping information in there just to really make that nice and informative for everyone. So yeah, that's my blurb. Anyone else have any questions? Okay, well, you can definitely reach out. You can reach out through Adriana and let me know if you have any questions. Back to you, Tyler. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. And yeah, if no questions or discussion on this, then I'll move us on to the informational items portion of the agenda, starting with agenda item 8A, an update from the Housing Authority Commission member. I believe that is Moses. And Moses, do you have any updates for us?
Moses is actually not with us today. That sounded really awful. I'm sorry. He's not in this meeting right now. Okay. And our backup, which would be Sarah Dar, is also not here. Justina, have you heard anything? Good.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, then moving on to agenda item 8B, updates from housing commissioners and other informational items. So I'll just open the floor up. Does anyone have any updates to give? And I can actually start us off. So most of you are probably aware, but there is a Flagstaff City Council candidate forum on housing being hosted tonight at Coconino Community College. It is being put on by Flagstaff Shelter Services Incorporated. So it's a relevant topic. I thought you guys may be interested in knowing about that and potentially attending. And I don't know if I said the time. It's at 5:30 to 7:30 p.m.
Hi, this is Ross. I just want to say the Flagstaff Shelter Services is actually not the ones running the forum tonight. There's been some confusion about that. The local coalition to end homelessness, or the COC, is running it. I'm just the person who made the announcement, and so on Facebook, and so it looks like it's coming from just FSS, but I want to be clear, it's a cadre of organizations that are putting this on, many of which are represented here. So yeah, join us. I think it's going to be online if you can't make it out to Lone Tree CCC as well, 5:30 to 7:30. Thanks, Tyler.
Oh yeah, and thank you so much for the correction. Yeah, I don't want to put out incorrect information out. And any other updates from other commissioners?
Looks like Rebecca has a question.
Okay.
I don't know if this is allowed, but I read through some of the, or reading through some of the past meeting minutes and noticed that there was some discussion on the grants from the RAD program. And because I'm new, maybe you guys can tell me, did we receive any grants? What's the status of those grants?
I'm happy to answer that. So the RAD acronym stands for Rental Assistance Demonstration Project. And you all actually will be receiving what Sarah and I like to call the Housing 101 presentation next month, where we will get into the kind of what the housing section does, what our different departments are, and some of the projects that we have underway. And we will make sure to answer your question then, just to not take up time today. Short answer is no, we have not yet received that grant. It's not really a grant, but we'll get into that next week, or I'm sorry, next month. Yeah, this month we wanted to really focus on the bond, since we want to make sure everyone's educated for the next month and going into November. But next month, definitely, we wanted to give you all a very comprehensive overview of the housing section and what I like to call its two arms. It's housing authority side and then the ownership side. So thank you so much. I appreciate that, Rebecca.
And then, Tyler, you're on mute.
The mute button strikes
Can I
again.
squeeze in here real quick?
Yeah.
Just for new commissioners, I just wanted to let you know that this part of the agenda is where if you want to discuss any upcoming items or given any information relevant to housing to the commission, such as advocacy opportunities or just informational events happening throughout the community, this is the time to do so. Does anybody have any questions specific to the agenda? I feel like we kind of rushed through it and didn't really cover that part because we got distracted by food.
And just to check, what do you mean by a question about the agenda? Sort of how the agenda works, or?
Yeah, like the agenda items. Was this pretty clear? Does it give you all like an overview of what this item is? Yeah, awesome.
That's a great point though, Adriana. I guess when you've been in a couple meetings, you sort of get accustomed to everything and don't forget how, sort of new and maybe confusing it can be. All right. I see Haley has a hand up.
Yeah, just kind of going back to the advocacy language you were going to request, Justina. Could we do like the opposite version of that? Like if, say, we did want to distribute information and somebody said to us, could you email me the information? Is there any language we would need to include with an email that specifically clarifies this is for informational purposes only or something like that? Thank you.
Yes, in the chat in case, just for the minutes, I guess.
All right. If no other discussion or questions, we'll move on to agenda item 8C. Do we have any updates from housing staff?
Is it okay to jump in here, Chair Denham? All right. I just wanted to give a quick update about our American Rescue Plan Act funds, just to give a little background to some of our new commissioners. Last year, City Council allocated about $1.9 million for housing assistance of the American Rescue Plan Act coronavirus state and local fiscal recovery funds. We just call them the ARPA recovery funds for short. So I don't know what the word is. We held a request for information, or we put out a request for information to local nonprofits. For-profit developers are also allowed to respond. And we received about 9 responses of a variety of projects. We basically just kind of wanted to get an idea of what our community partners might be thinking about asking for, what projects they're undertaking that they might need additional funding for. And so with that information, we have developed a notice of funding availability. It is making its way through all of the appropriate parties in the city to be approved, and we hope to have it available no later than October 15th for folks to be able to respond to. So our goal is to hopefully have those projects for folks who have applied, have them approved, and have contracts out hopefully by the beginning of the year, right after the holidays or maybe early to mid-January. We're really excited to kind of see where those funds can go and how they can support the development of housing in our community. So we'll be sure to keep you in the loop as we allocate those funds out.
Interesting to hear. Thank you for the update. Do any other city staff members have an update before I close out?
I do really quick. This is Jennifer. I just wanted to share with the commission and anybody else who may be listening that the city and Habitat for Humanity's contract has completed. The contract for the Isabel Homes subdivision, I think it was originally signed in 2015, and the contract was to deliver 6 single-family homes built by Habitat and sold to eligible buyers. The final home was constructed and sold to a family in August. We just had a dedication ceremony. I think was it last week or 2 weeks ago. Anyway, so that has finished up. So it's kind of like a nice, pretty sizable project that's completed. that we're excited to say has been a success. And Habitat for Humanity has moved on to their starter home program. It's kind of like an innovative new, I don't know what to call it, not a project, but an innovative new homeownership program. So if anybody's interested in the starter home model, you can learn more. They're going to have an October 13th open house for their pilot project. They built their first starter home on city property on O'Leary Street in the South Side neighborhood. You might have noticed a really cool looking tiny house on Butler, on the north side of Butler when you're driving really close to like San Francisco Street. So anyway, that's exciting. I just wanted everybody to be aware of that that open house on the 13th. If you want more information, just let me know. We can send out, if you're on Habitat for Humanity's newsletters, they've been good recently about putting out their newsletters. So there's that.
Thank you for that. And yeah, if no other updates, I think that's a wrap. Oh, Adriana, you're motioning something?
Yeah, you can't see the chat, can you?
No, sorry. It's a little hard to keep the chat open at the same time.
Okay, good to know. So October is actually going to be Housing America Month as declared by the National Association of Housing and Redevelopment Officials, also known as NARO. To give a little bit of background, Housing America was created in 2007 as a way to create affordable housing and as a way to celebrate affordable housing and those who provide it in our community. So it's pretty much a time to raise awareness of affordable housing and the value and importance of having it in our community. So during the month of October, those who want to participate in the event get to showcase their programs and host events or educational campaigns they typically wouldn't. The housing section specifically celebrates often, but this year we want to do more awareness and education in our community than normally. We would like to start promoting the event heavily on social media sites and working to get the information to the Arizona Daily Sun. So you may see some of those pop-ups. So if you see a post on social media, though, we encourage you to share it if you want, not pushing or anything. And then for fantastic community partners, I encourage you that if you have been working with us on any of our programs, let me know if you can think of an individual or a family that has a potential success story that has completely changed their life that we can share on social media. So yeah, that's my update.
Once you have that link to those social media posts available, could you send those to us? Be interested in looking at it and, potentially promoting it myself. And potentially some of the other commissioners may have an interest.
Yeah, totally. And if you don't already follow our housing page, we have that. I'm sure that we'll push that through our housing page as well as through the City of Flagstaff's general page. But I'll definitely send you guys a heads up.
Okay, thank you so much for that. Alrighty, I'm looking at the chat box. I'm not seeing any more C's or Q's, but a quick verbal check. Any other updates anyone wants to give? Any questions? All right, in that case, and I'm going slow to give anyone time if they're typing out something. In that case.
Wait.
Okay.
So our new commissioners, our meetings don't typically always end early. This was a pretty light one just because we want to be kind and want to make sure you come back to the next meeting. The next one will be a little bit longer because we'll be addressing Housing 101 so that you know about our programs and that you are confident when talking to the public if you want to talk to the public. So just know Won't always be this way. Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Thank you,
all
everyone.
so much for your time. And for the meetings, for the meeting minutes, Adriana, I'll say the meeting is adjourned at 2:02 p.m. Everyone, have a great day.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.